Catherine McKenna was losing track of and mismanaging government contracts long before she ever lost track of 20,000 government projects at her new job as the infrastructure minister. An audit of her mismanagement of contracts at environment and climate change reveals nearly half were missing key documents and records. And that's probably not even the worst of what went on during the bid process.
So I'm wondering if any of the 20,000 government projects that Minister McKenna lost track of were aimed at easing Alberta's unemployment rate.
It appears we've lost Minister McKenna.
That was Infrastructure Minister Catherine McKenna hanging up on my Rebel News colleague Cian Bexty, and I guess all the journalists in the room, and the Alberta government, at a joint Alberta Government of Canada press conference. It was the first time McKenna was faced with an accountability question about how she lost track of 20,000 infrastructure projects in just a few short months on the job after being shuffled out of her old portfolio at Environment and Climate Change. Now, Blacklock's reporter broke that story at the time. Look at this. Parliament's Budget Office can find no evidence of 20,000 projects subsidized with billions in federal tax dollars. Infrastructure Minister Catherine McKenna's department would not disclose proof they exist, the Commons Government Operations Committee was told. And, friends, just like with Cian, the minister refused to answer questions about where these projects are and what the state of the funding is for them. Look at this. Minister McKenna wrote March 10th in a 2020-2021 departmental plan. Since the Investing in Canada plan was launched, over 52,000 projects have been announced government-wide with contributions of approximately $57.5 billion. Almost all of these projects are started or completed. Budget Officer Giroux said he could find no records on more than a third of the projects started or completed, a total of 20,000. We've asked the department and have been able to find information for 33,000 of these projects, said Giroux. We have not been able to see a list that includes all of these 52,000 or 53,000 projects, only 33,000 of these projects. However, the ineptitude of Infrastructure Minister Catherine McKenna is not exactly a new manifestation. It's how she rolls, and it was on full display in her last Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. She was mismanaging and losing track of contracts over there too, and it's just now seeing the light of day. Again, Blacklock's has the incredible story today sitting behind their paywall. Just look at this. A federal audit has found contracting irregularities at the Department of Environment, including one case where a favored contractor started untendered work before the competitors were even given notice. The audit covered a 2-year period when $176.6 million in contracts were awarded under then Minister Catherine McKenna. These actions are in breach of the Treasury Board contracting policy and the regulations, since the Department of Environment could not have confirmed only one person was capable of performing the contract until the advance contract award notice process was complete, wrote Procurement Ombudsman Alexander Jeglick. The favored contractor was not named. Isn't that interesting? In another case, Jeglick found the department awarded 8 untendered contracts to the same company, all valued at $24,558 apiece. That figure was just below the minimum $25,000 threshold for open bidding. Convenient. Cabinet in 2019 raised the disclosure threshold from $25,000 to $40,000. Of 40 contracts investigated at random by the Ombudsman Jeglick, 18 were missing key documents, including the names of employees who evaluated the bids. So wait, nearly half, 18 of 40, that's 45% of the contracts awarded under Catherine McKenna here were missing important documentation. The Ombudsman found in a 10th of cases, bidders couldn't get answers to their questions, and in a third of cases, there were inconsistencies and irregularities involving technical evaluations. One contract was awarded to a bidder that failed to meet mandatory criteria, he wrote. In a sixth of cases, reasons given for selecting a winning bid contained inaccurate or contradictory information or both. Unreal. Contracts awarded before the bid process is over. Awarded to unknown companies. Contracts awarded without proper records. No records of who awarded the contracts or why. And many contracts were structured to the same company to avoid competition and bidding. It's a scandal. This is something the RCMP should be called in to investigate immediately. But Trudeau has them too busy figuring out ways to take hunting rifles away from the law-abiding in this country. And to think, Bev Oda resigned over a $16 orange juice. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Catherine McKenna hung up on my colleague Cian Bexty when he tried to ask her an accountability question in a press conference. And that sort of accountability work of the Liberal government is exactly why the Alberta Legislature Press Gallery tried to keep us out. They're all Justin Trudeau bailout journalists, and their little plot to keep us out didn't work. We are going to be working at the legislature to see the full story and to support our legal battle against the press gallery. Please go to letusreport.com.